So OTAs done, draft done, mini camp done, training camp done, preseason it's over, y'all. Like we made it. We made it to the finish line. Now, a few surprises. Isaiah Land, I know that people are upset, but the truth of the matter is this team is loaded at defensive end, and you probably weren't going to sneak him to the practice squad. And you just couldn't use those resources to keep him on the team. I'm sorry, y'all, because I just don't see how he would have played this year. He's still a little light. It just is what it is. And we covered the team so well because of you guys. I mean, some of you guys are smarter than me in the comments. And so, and like, I respect you guys so much. But what happens is people start to get hip to some of our players, even through engines like this channel. So it just is what it is. And then I will say this, I do owe Neville Gallimore an apology. He made the team. He beat out Quinn Bohanna. He made a late push. And it could have been because of where he was drafted. He's a former third-round pick. But also, we just see that we've just seen that the Cowboys gave up, not really gave up on Kelvin Joseph, but it doesn't matter your status. It's all about, are you going to do the work? Are you going to get better? Neville Gallimore made a push. He was good enough to be on this team. He's on this football team. So my number one, this is going to be a ranking system. I got the notes. I wrote down some cool stuff. This is going to be a ranking system of players throughout the process who I can honestly say have earned the right to to be on this list, to be a possible, and it won't be maybe a star. They won't be stars this year, but they will be key contributors. So number one, Jalen Tolbert. I won't say this is an easy one, but I will say that if you would have told me this time last year, uh, that Jalen Tolbert would be on this list, I would have said, I don't know, because his confidence. Now, I did grade him a certain way at South Alabama. He was great at the Senior Bowl. And even in last year's Senior Bowl, we heard him talk. He said he wasn't confident. He had to go put the work in. And you know what Jalen Tolbert did, y'all? He put the work in. I'm not saying that he's going to have a 1,000-yard year, but I can see a 700-yard year. I can see an injury happening, and he doesn't that we don't miss a beat because of who he is and how quick he is, how spry he is, how athletic he is, and his stature. Jalen Tolbert's a big guy. Another thing that I don't think that's being covered enough is how many different places he lined up. He lined up in the slot. He was on the move in motion. He was on the edge. How many different types of routes he ran, in breaking, nine ball. Jalen Tolbert did a lot of good things. He deserves to be number one on this list. It is what it is. Number two, Jake Ferguson. To me, Fergie is probably the most undercovered tight end on this channel. I don't. The tight end position is kind of interesting because all of these guys are young, so I just want to see it. I was a huge Dalton Schultz fan. You guys know that. I thought that Jason Witten kind of blocked his growth, but happy for Dalton to be able to go on and do his thing. But when I watched Jake Ferguson in that in that Jags game, him high point the ball, him do certain things, I'm like, okay, this guy really does have something. You hear Kelsey talk about him. He's a Wisconsin kid, former fourth-round pick. I just think that Jake Ferguson is ready to take that next step. Hendershot didn't really do much, and I don't know how much they trust Hendershot, y'all. I'm just telling you. And I think that they really trust Schoonmaker. Actually, he's listed as the number two on our last. He's listed as the number two tight end on this team, Schoonmaker is. So, and he did some nice things in the blocking game. Now you have Ferguson as your true receiver. Maybe they slow walk Schoonmaker, and that's your 1-2 punch at tight end. Number three, Osa Odigizua. Now, he was drafted in that Micah draft, but I think that Osa, from the talent that we've brought in on the defensive side of the ball, Mozzie, Jonathan Hankins, the corner, you're great at safety. I really do believe that Osa benefits from this the most. Here's why. Now he doesn't have to two-gap. Now Osa can get upfield, play with hands, play violent, do what he does best. He has that Leroy Glover first step. That's what Osa is. He has that first step. He's really quick, and he's really strong. Like, he looks in the best shape of all our D tackles. I've never seen a fat guy he was rocked up. No shame to all my fat people. I don't do body shaming. So all my fat guys with muscles, shout out to y'all. Y'all could probably beat me up. So it just is what it is. But like, he's legit in great shape to be his size, and he's primed for a big breakout year. Number 4, Damone Clark. Now, here's somebody who I won't say that I was critical of, but I can honestly say Damone Clark has kind of turned the page with me. Now, I still want him to be a little bit more physical at the point of attack. And I said, and I was consistent about this, when we drafted Overshawn, I said, listen, Overshawn is going to push this guy. And what did Overshawn do in the preseason? He pushed him. That might have ended up being at the end of the year your 1-2 punch. Overshawn gets hurt. We're here now, but I can honestly say that Damone Clark has earned the right to be on this list. He's done everything right thus far, because trust me, if he didn't, the Cowboys would be looking to get a linebacker in free agency to kind of bolster this group. But I think him and LVE will be fine to start the year. And then number 5, somebody who I believe is very forgotten about, but when we've heard Mike McCarthy talk, whether it's in the draft room, audio, all those different media outlets, that covered this team behind the scenes in their draft room, in their war room, it's about stopping the run. If you go back and you watch Chauncey Golston, he's number 5 on my list. You watch Chauncey Golston against the Eagles. You watch him against the Redskins, well, Commanders, whatever they are. Chauncey Golston is going to play he's going to play a huge role in the rotation. It's probably some of the reason why you couldn't keep Land on the team, in the rotation. And then just being that guy who can stop the run, play with violent hands, play with long arms, and be physical at the point of attack. One thing I love about Iowa D linemen, they are physical every single play. They're just coached that way. All right. And he's done nothing but come to the league, make the most out of every opportunity that he has. And now I think he'll get more opportunities. The other thing about Golston that I think is not said enough, he could play a 5 technique, he could play a 3 technique, he could play a 1 technique. That position flex matters. Trust me, Dan Quinn is a great DC, one of the best, probably the best in the league. But his flaw to me is we got to be able to stop the run. It's not always all about sacks. So I think that he plays a big role, and I think that he could do great things. I think he'll have a lot of TFLs. I think he'll have a lot of tackles, and we'll be like, whoa, Golston, where was he? Golston. You'll hear his name. So those are my 5 guys. Just to recap: Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, Osel Digizua, Damone Clark, Chauncey Golston. Training camp, mini camp, everything's over. Now it's on to the Giants. Can't wait to talk about the Giants next week, their offense and their defense. I'm going to be doing live streams on both of those position groups. Guys, just the way that you guys have grown with me, it means so much to me. And I want to say this. If anybody wants to sponsor the channel, if you want to get ads on the channel, you want me to talk about your business, please let me know. Email me. I'll put my email in the description box. Also, if you want a Cash App, I'll put my Cash App, just supporting and showing love to the channel. It means the world to me. I'm going to keep putting out content. I'm never going to stop. I love this team. I love football. Hell, I even just put out my draft watch list, and I'll put that on in the community tab as well. So I love you guys. It's your boy Foots. As always, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's go. We only got 1 week, baby. 10 days. Sheesh.